Welcome back to another edition of Rock Chronicles. It's been a little while, and there's been a reason. It's not because I've been lazy, but I wanted to focus more so on climbing than posting that I'm climbing. So that's what I did. Or even like talking about it. For a little while, I didn't even want to talk about it. I just wanted to climb. And I guess, I don't know, I can't say refocus. Well, maybe refocus, but just remember what it was for and what it was actually doing. And I think I kind of lost focus of that. So now I'm here to ramble a bit about the climbing that I've been doing. So I spoke about joint injury, my elbow flexor, a few weeks ago, and it was pretty bad. Um, Pretty bad to the point of like innocuous movements were like pretty pretty difficult, which laid some concern because it went on for a little bit. So once I actually did some rehab on it and consciously um, try to repair the damage, things started to get better. I'm not 100% yet, um, but it is, I would say, if I had to give a percentage, 85, maybe 90. But I have been climbing. I've just been doing a lot more shorter sessions and a lot easier climbs. I'm finding that beneficial. See here, this is interesting. Now that I'm sitting here speaking about it, and I thought it's been a while since I've said anything about climbing that I would have a lot to say. But now that I sit here thinking about it, I'm not sure that I do. The actual climb itself, I mean, if it's been good. I feel that my technique has been improving a lot. So here, I'll talk about the way that I approach climbing now. So if I'm climbing something and I start to feel any sort of stress in my elbows, I'll just let go. Like I'll just stop immediately. So I found that to help tremendously because what I was doing was being more concerned with getting to the top. So even if something was hurting, I would still fight through it to um, get to the finish. Now, um, I'm not sure why. Well, no, maybe I'm sure. You know, you see a goal and you just want to reach it, and you're just um, concerned with the reward. And I guess what I'm finding now is I'm enjoying the journey of um, learning how to climb more so. So I guess it's that, you know, chop wood, carry water book. I'm finding that I had no choice but to focus more so on technique because my gorilla climbing, as I call it, wasn't sustainable and my tendons let me know. So I'm feeling a lot more coordinated in my climb. I feel like I'm more focused on my feet. So I've been really trying to look down then up. So look at my feet, place my feet, um, and then worry about my hands. Now, see, I find like grading's kind of interesting because there will be some levels and some walls that will be above my grade, if you will, and I'll do them. And then there's other ones that are supposed to be my level, and I'm basing this just off of what I've been able to climb in general. Um, and then other ones that would or are more easy or less challenging. Certain types will prove to be very challenging in a lesser grade, if you will. So I'm finding that interesting because um, where I'm at the gym I'm at, and maybe it's color coordinated. So the levels, so it's like white, yellow, green. Uh, I want to say blue, then purple. Pink's at the top, black is second to that. So if I saw anything um, blue, I wouldn't really try it. And purple, I wouldn't try it. And I've found that I've done a couple of purple and blue routes relatively, I wouldn't say easy, but pain free. Let's go with pain free because that's, I think, for right now is a good gauge for me. If I can do these routes pain free. Um, so having said that, I've been doing a little bit more overhang. So basically, instead of climbing straight up, you're basically supinated. So your belly, for the most part, to the air, and you're hanging back. And funny enough, before my injury, I found that very difficult, and during my injury, near impossible. So I don't know if my technique is getting better or what the deal is, but I still feel a little bit of tension in my elbow flexors. But I'm able to do some routes on the overhang, which I find interesting. So I don't know. Well, here, I've always looked at injuries as sort of a blessing in disguise, if you will, because injuries, it definitely lets you know what muscles are used for, everyday stuff. So it gives you an idea of how your muscles are connected and work together. And two, especially here in climbing, it forced me to focus on technique, which is a good thing. So I don't hope to get injured again by any stretch of the imagination, but they say, in business, fail often and fail soon. So I'd rather get this sort of thing out of the way and basically go from there. So as I said, I'm about 85, 90%. Like prior to this, movements like this, I would feel a lot more. So right now I do feel it, but it's more of a stretch than pain, because this would be pain before. Yeah, even here. So I am getting better. Yay. Which makes well, it doesn't make things more interesting, but or maybe it does. Long and the short is, it's good to be close to 100% again, and I want to make sure that I stay focused and chop wood and carry water. So I was speaking to one of the route setters. Didn't a little while ago I say I didn't have that much to say? Okay. I spoke to one of the route setters. I believe his name is Adam, if I remember correctly, but I think it's Adam. Pretty sure. And basically, I was telling him I'm relatively like new to climbing. What would you like focus on for your first year? And basically, he gave me some like interesting things. And I guess if you like think about it, there's easy ways to set routines and things like that. So one of the things that he was saying was get a route that's challenging but not too difficult, and do it 4 times. So go, come down, do it again, come down, do it again. The purpose of this was muscle endurance. He was saying the same thing for if you're doing auto belay. So you'll go up and then you'll fall or get to the top and you come down and then you just go back up immediately. Because man, I have no idea what I was talking about when I said I had nothing to say, because I have something else after this. So um, he recommended this for muscle endurance because we got on the topic of Alex Honnold doing free solo. Now, I mean, I would never try to attempt something to that degree, like that. um, that has no appeal to me. But I do want to do something like a 5, 6, even a 10-story building. I would like to do something like that, and um, the long and the short, that's my goal. To I don't know, like is 10-story like mini free? Like is that what it is? Like what's considered free soloing if you do any sort of climb without equipment? So yes, so if 10 stories, like a 10-story building, is not considered free soloing, then whatever that's considered, that's what it is that I want to do. Um, because it's interesting when he speaks. Alex Honnold, this is about climbing, and a lot of the people around him express their concern and fear. And when he talks about, I guess, falling or death or anything like that, he has a very matter of fact way about it. And the only reason why I wouldn't attempt something like that now is lack of experience. Like if I were climbing for a longer period of time, something crazy like that would come to mind. Maybe not to that extreme, but to an extreme. Um, so I can understand his urge or his, I don't know, interest in something of that nature. So my climbing will get me to that. I don't know how far I'll push it. And see here, this is, I'm not even sure if I should say this, but like if I really were to go and I went from climbing, yeah, I mean, not to take this to a negative place, because I mean I'm not negative about it. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to die, but if I were going to, I mean, here a few years back, I almost drowned at Jackson's Point. I don't want to go like that. Like I don't want to. I don't have a thing in my head where I'm like, yeah, I want to swim I want to swim Lake Ontario, and if I happen to go that way, no, mm, that's not going to happen. Um, I don't know how I'm going to go, but you might hear of me, in a climbing accident, but you're not going to hear me drowning. Nope, it's no, that wouldn't happen. So, um, the long and the short is that climbing has become more cathartic, even more therapeutic, if you will. One and the same, maybe. So I gotta say, I'm glad I discovered it. I gotta say that I find it interesting that I get so much out of climbing different shapes and colors attached to a wall. But there'll be times where I'll just sit back after, making an attempt at something, and I'll just lie back and I'll look around me, and there's something that is just extremely peaceful. There's something that which makes me feel at ease. And I'm wondering what that would feel like out in nature, like actually climbing. So I'm gonna do some research because this spring and summer I want to do some bouldering outside. Definitely want to do that. I wish I would have started climbing or been more consistent with climbing because I was introduced to it before. I did go for a little bit, but just um, nothing really to mention. So camping is something that I haven't done in a very long time, and I've always enjoyed it. And what I've realized now is that it's a necessity, a reset. So again, camping and climbing. That has got to be on the agenda for this spring and summer and every spring and summer. And hopefully I can do it in the winter time in some warm places. I'm smiling because I was talking about a Jamaican hockey team, and that does exist. So there's got to be places to do outdoor climbing in Jamaica. There has to be. So that's what I'm going to try and look into. So I guess I did have quite a lot to say. You know what? I'll never say that again because here, let me tell you. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up. Or, you know what? I'm going to anyways. So there was somebody that I knew, and we were all sitting down to eat, and there was three of us, and one person was um, basically serving me and the other person. So they were coming, they were bringing the food, and just for me, like you wait until what I mean, the other person sits down, unless there's the person saying no, eat or whatever the case is. But for me, like you wait because the person's doing something for you. This second person that was there, they're like, no, not they were like they said, oh, yeah, I'm not really like all that hungry. And when the food was put down, just hoovered it. Like I'm not. The statement didn't match the action. So my statement of I didn't really have that much to say didn't match the rant. So thank you for listening. And to be honest, I'm not sure when I'll see you again. It will be soon, but know that I will be climbing. Thank you.